Hello and welcome to Driver's Therapy. Today's video is about a topic that seems pretty straightforward, but can easily be misunderstood. We are talking about measuring the tire pressure of your tires. The first thing to consider when looking at tire pressure is that all different vehicles have different tire pressure requirements. This can be based on many factors such as the size of the wheel, the type of tire, the size of the vehicle, and all sorts of other things. Most manufacturers provide a sticker that gives you this information based on how the vehicle came from the factory. Now, if you've changed anything, such as gotten aftermarket wheels or a different size of tire, that can modify what type of tire pressure you'll need. But let's go ahead and check out what the manufacturer recommends for this vehicle. You may be wondering, where do I find this informational label? On this Acura NSX, like on many vehicles, the label is inside the driver's door. Let's take a look. All right, the label is right here. On the Acura NSX, there are actually two different tire pressures, and that's because the front and the rear wheels have two different configurations. So what we have with our factory wheels and our factory tire setup is 33 psi in the front and 40 psi in the back. Okay, you've checked your manufacturer's recommendations and you're ready to go, right? Not quite yet. One thing that a lot of people forget to consider is the temperature of the tire. The manufacturer's recommendations are based on a cold tire measurement. And that means that your car has not been driven recently. If you drive it, it warms up with all of that friction on the road. The rubber expands, the air expands, and it causes your tire pressure to be higher than if you measured it when it was cold. So definitely take that into consideration before you measure your tire pressure. Okay, you haven't driven your car for a while, and you know those tires are nice and cool, so you're ready to go check it. But here's one more thing you should make sure you consider. This NSX is sitting in the sun. However, on this side, it's in the shade. For the same reasons as driving your tires warms them up and can change your tire pressure, this can also have an impact. That sun is heating up your tire, and it can make a difference how your PSI is measured. Here's a fun fact. A lot of motorsports teams, such as those in road racing and drag racing, to name a few, know that this sun and shade factor can impact their tires. So what they do is they have blankets that can prevent the sun from heating up the tires, or conversely, they have tire warmers that can keep their tires heated up to the optimal temperature for competition. Okay, to measure the tire pressure, you are going to need a tire pressure gauge. I could go on about differing levels of quality and different types that you could find, but essentially you want to find one that is of a reputable company and that is well calibrated. We've been using this one since our SCCA Club Racing days, and it has been very good to us. Okay, the time has come. We know our manufacturer's recommendations, we know that our tires have been sitting and are cool, so we are ready to check this tire pressure. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this valve stem cap. Now, these are really small and they're really easy to lose, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it over here on this yellow, which is a nice contrasting color, and I'll be able to find it more easily at the end. Next, I'm going to get my gauge, and when I attach this to the tire, I want to make sure it's at a good angle, and I'm going to put it in quickly but not too hard because I don't want to damage anything. And I'm going to watch my pressure on my gauge. So I'm lining it up and then pushing it in. Right now we have 32 psi. That is 1 psi lower than our manufacturer's recommendation, so we'll just need to add 1 more pound of pressure before we are ready to drive. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and replace this valve stem cap right now. I'm going to do it now so that I don't lose it or kick it when I'm moving to the other tires. It's nice and snug. This tire is ready. My tire pressures are set and I'm ready to go for a drive. This is Driver's Therapy. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button.